Hello friends, today I'm going to be testing a full face of Patrick Ta makeup. I have been wanting to do this video for a while, and for some reason or another, I just never got around to doing one. But I just ordered another one of the Essential Artistry Edit palettes. I purchased the medium about 4 or 6 weeks ago. I loved it so much, I decided to place an order for the light, and it just arrived. So I thought, perfect. It's that time between Christmas and New Year's Eve where I've got more downtime, and this I think is going to be a fun video for me to film as well, since I have not done a full face of Patrick Ta in a couple of years. And what I'm doing right now is just applying a little eyeshadow base. If you are new to my channel, some information that would be good to know about me would be my age and skin type. I only say my age is 52 because when I reference mature skin, when I was doing these videos in my early 40s, I got a lot of pushback. People would say, you don't have mature skin, wait till you get to be 50 or 60. Of course, there is a huge range when it comes to what is considered mature skin. But I think when you're in your 50s, no one can really argue that you have mature skin. I also have oily skin, which does come as a surprise to some people because the beauty industry would have you believe that all mature skin is dry. And that is simply not the case. One of my grandmas, my dad's mom, had oily skin until the day she died at I think 88 or 89. And the reason why I'm mentioning that I have oily skin is because I am going to be using Patrick Ta's liquid foundation. It is called Major Skin Hydra Luxe Luminous Skin Perfecting Foundation. And as someone with oily skin, I tend to stay away from anything described as very luminous or ultra hydrating. But unfortunately, this is the only liquid foundation Patrick Ta makes. He does have this cream and powder foundation. It came out a few years ago, and I tried it as soon as it came out, and I just did not like it. It simply did not last on my skin, made me look a little bit too oily. And to be totally honest with you, I likely would never have purchased this foundation. And I actually didn't. It was sent to me in a PR package. So at that point, I had no reason not to try it. As expected, it was not for me. It's just way too luminous and dewy. And just like the cream foundation, it's not long lasting on me. It sounds like I am already bashing this brand, but I promise you, the majority of the other products I am going to be using today, I actually really love. I just hope that someday in the not too distant future, Patrick will launch a matte foundation, or at least one that is better suited for oily skin. But what I'm going to do today, because I said we're testing a full face of Patrick Ta, is I'm going to apply a little mattifying primer underneath this foundation. I probably tested it that way when I first tried this, but that was a long time ago, and I honestly don't remember how it ended up looking. So this is my inspiration photo. I have always loved this makeup look, and I scoured the internet for a breakdown, a makeup breakdown, and I never could find one. But it does look like her eyes have a very soft, smoky look, resembling the tones in this light palette. That photo was taken back in 2023, so it's not likely that this was exactly what was used. He probably used one of his original Major Dimensions eyeshadow palette. Again, it's an inspo pic. It's not going to be identical because clearly I look nothing like Gigi Hadid. So I'm going to start by using the second to lightest color and run that through my crease. There's just something about these smaller palettes that I like better than the original Patrick Ta Major Dimensions eyeshadow palettes. I do own them all, but I don't reach for them that often. I honestly don't use the creams in the palettes hardly ever. I don't know, I just feel like he changed the formula for these and they're more blendable. They have a creamier texture. At least that's how I felt about the medium. Hopefully the light is the same. It should be. Now that I've gotten that transition shade laid down, I'm gonna go, using the same brush, a little bit darker with the color right below it. Well, below and to the left. And I'm gonna add that to the outer corner and then into the crease. I zoomed in on the photo and it does look like she has even one shade darker than that. And I'm going in with a little bit more of a tapered brush and just packing that on the outer corner. And blending up and out towards my temples. Now I'm taking a flat brush and I'm applying the ivory shade and patting that onto the lid. As far as I can tell, it doesn't look like there's any shimmer on the eye. At least not in these photos. I did look at some Getty Images photos, and you know how those are always a lot more realistic because they're usually in natural lighting and you can see more of the detail. So I did see one photo where it looked like she may have had a little shimmer on the lid, but for now we're gonna keep it matte. I just realized that I picked up the ivory from the medium and not the light. I was wondering why it wasn't coming out as light as I wanted it to. Here we go. This is one of the reasons why I purchased the lighter one, because I wanted a lighter shade for my lid, one that would be a little bit more impactful. And now I'm just using my fingers to sort of blend into the crease. And now I'm just adding a little bit more to the outer corners, blending up. It doesn't look like she's got any eyeliner along the top lash line. It's hard to tell though. It kind of looks like she may have a very smoked out black just right at the base of her lashes. But since I don't have a black in either of these palettes, I think I'm just going to use dark brown and place it just right there at the base. Okay, I'm gonna leave my eyes alone for now and go back to them a little later. At this time, I'm going to apply some mattifying primer all over my face because I don't just get oily in the T-zone, I get oily all over. And the foundation shade I'm going to use is one of the shades that they sent me, and it's number 8 Golden. I do really like the packaging of this. I think it's very luxe. I love that it has a pump. I'm gonna put a little bit on the back of my hand, one pump like so. Take my foundation brush and start applying. This is a little yellow for me. My skin is quite neutral. At first glance, one would think I was very cool toned because I have blonde hair. Well, now it's got a lot of gray coming in, but I was born with blonde hair. I do have blue eyes. I am fair skinned, so most people think I have a cool undertone. But the reality is I have a neutral undertone. My veins are both green and blue, and I can wear silver and gold jewelry and feel like both brighten my face. So I don't mind that this has somewhat of a yellow undertone. Okay, I have not used this foundation in a while, and as you can see, it is very glowy. So if you have dry skin and like medium coverage, I think you're going to love this foundation. Perhaps you're already using it. Patrick does not yet have a concealer. I feel like he's been teasing one for the last few months, but as of the date I'm filming this video, which is the very end of December, I have not seen him release a concealer. So I'm just gonna use this Maybelline Lifter Concealer because I happen to have it right here and I think it is so good. Just gonna put a couple of dots right there and blend it out. If you watch a lot of my tutorials, you likely would have noticed that for most of my eye looks, I do a very lifted, very crisp outer corner when it comes to my eyeshadow. But for this look, I'm going with the more kind of blown out, smoky look like this. So there are no harsh angles, no harsh lines. And that'll happen when I go back and do the shadow underneath. That's when you'll see me sort of smoke everything out more. For powder, I am going to use the one that is in the Powder Foundation Compact. This is Light 4. I'm obviously not using the cream, just the powder. And I'm picking up the powder and I'm setting my concealer and my T-zone. So now that that's done, I'm going in with the Cream Contour and Powder Bronzer Duo in She's Sculpted. I'm going to start with the contour product, and I'm going to start with my nose using the nose contour brush. Picking up the product and slimming the nose. This is the best nose contour brush you can buy. I will say though that this is not my favorite contour and bronzing product. I really can't put my finger on why I don't love it. Maybe it's just because I like, and this just might be a quirk of mine, I like to use a contour or bronzing stick. There's just something satisfying to me about drawing those lines on my face and then blending them out. And then this powder bronzer, I find it to be a little bit patchy and just not very smoothing. So I'm picking up the contour and, well, contouring my cheekbones and my forehead a little. Now, I thought I had, oh, I do. I think this brush is for contour. I'm trying to use as many Patrick Ta brushes as I can. Oh yeah. This gives a much better application. You know, I feel like it's sort of lifting the makeup, the foundation a bit. Okay, now I'm going to flip it over and use the bronzer. See, I mean, it's nice, but in my opinion, it's nothing to write home about. Okay, bouncing around some more. I'm going to fill in my brows. With my eyeshadow order, I also got another Patrick Ta brow pencil in blonde. I've repurchased this several times. It is not always easy to find a good blonde shade, one that's not too light, or one that's not too orangey, or one that's not too dark. And this one is perfect. Now, Gigi's brows are more brunette than mine, so I could have used soft brown, but I just feel like my brows look better lighter. So I'm gonna speed this up because it is sort of time consuming. But hopefully this shows you how perfect this blonde shade is. Patrick does love a laminated brushed up brow, so I'm using a little brow gel. I don't have his brow gel. I did try it once and I think I returned it because I just didn't think it worked that great. What I'm using here is called Bay Brow. Okay, brows are done and I do not like the way my face looks. It might look dewy and glowy on camera, but in this magnifying mirror, my pores look very large. I've got some cakiness right by the sides of my nose. It looks a little dry right through here. And I did prep my skin, by the way. I didn't show that, but I do always prep my skin with products, moisturizer, serum. So what do I want to do about this? I think a better powder might help. This one is from Charlotte Tilbury. It's the Airbrush Flawless. I love this. I think this is going to really, oh yeah, look at that. Look at that. There we go. Now we're talking. I do not like when my pores are even more pronounced than they already are. Yeah, this is so much better. This just solidifies my feeling. I don't even have to wait 8-10 hours. That Patrick Ta's foundations just are not for me. Now, don't worry if you think, oh my gosh, she took away all the glow. My skin is that oily. It will look glowy on its own in 20 minutes. Okay, now let's go back to the eyes. I want to add the lightness to the inner corner. So I'm going back in, making sure I grab the right one this time, the light palette, taking a clean brush and packing that on the inner corners and a little bit more onto the lid. Also putting a little bit of that under the brow. Okay, pencil brush. We need a pencil brush. I'm going to use a Rephr 03, and I'm going to go into a combination of these two right here and smoke out along the lower lash line. And then connect it to the upper shadow, but really just blend it out softly towards my temples. And use my finger to kind of buff. And then I'm going to take this shade right here and raise my brows and sort of buff out the edges. All right, now I'm going to curl my lashes, apply some mascara, and then it does look like she has on some very light, fluffy individual lashes. So I'm going to do that as well, and I'll be back. Okay, mascara and lashes are on. Eyes are pretty much done. Now it's time for blush. If I had to choose my favorite product from Patrick Ta, it would definitely be the blushes. I love that you get a cream and a powder. The shades are absolutely stunning. And the duo I think looks most like the one in the photo is She's Blushing. And I'm going to do Patrick's method of applying the powder first and then the cream. So I'm going in with another one of his dual-ended brushes and applying the powder. This is such a beautiful, beautiful blush. I mean, look at it. It's the perfect blush shade. When you don't want a baby pink cheek, maybe you don't want a peach cheek, you just want something that looks like you're naturally blushing, hence the name She's Blushing. Now, I'm gonna flip the brush over, go into the cream side, and dab that right on top. It's hard to tell in the photo if she has highlighter on, but I wanted to use as many Patrick Ta products as possible, so I am going to put on a little bit of this highlighter in the Baby Duo, which is like a soft pink. And this is the highlighter brush that you can purchase. I don't think I'm going to use the cream. I think I'm just going to use the powder. It's subtle. This is the newer version of the highlighter as well. There was an original version that didn't do very well, didn't sell very well. There was just, I guess, an issue with the formula. So he pulled them from the shelves and reformulated, and this is the reformulation. It's nice if you want something pretty subtle. Actually, since I have the brush, let's try the cream. Like, nothing is coming up on the brush. Nothing at all. Maybe a little. Oh, it definitely gives it a little bit more glow. It's kind of sticky though. What do we think? I think it's time for lips. I have so many options for lips, and I'm not quite sure what direction I want to go in. We might have to try a couple different things. I've got all of his liquid lipsticks, and I'm leaning towards She's Secure, with maybe a little bit of a lighter one in the center, or maybe a lipstick, She's Shy, in the center. And I'm not sure which lip liner I want to use. I'm going to try She's Proud. I feel like this might be too light. Let's try She's Strong instead. Okay, now She's Secure. Let's see how this looks. It might be too dark. Okay, I'm gonna let this dry. I do feel like I need something a little lighter in the center. I don't know if she has a gloss on in the center. or if it's just all matte. It's so hard to tell sometimes in photos. I kind of want to use something that will lighten up the center. This gloss is called She's Expensive. So I'm going to put that right in the middle. Okay, I'm not quite certain that's the combo. I do love the way this looks, but since I'm here and I'm demoing Patrick Ta products, I could not leave out my second favorite Patrick Ta product. Actually, I would say the blush duos are my top pick. And then the brow pencil is tied with these shimmer duos, which I always call them shimmer duos. They're actually called, you think I would know this by now because I talk about them so much, Major Dimensions Eye Illusion Shadow Duos. I love these so much. I think they are stunning. And they are the easiest way to take a look from day to evening. I think I'm going to use this duo called Talk to My Team. Just using my finger to pick it up. I'm going to tap that on the lightest part of my lid. See how that just gave, hopefully you can see, just a tiny, tiny hint of sparkle. I feel like this lip is pulling very peachy on camera. I'm gonna put a little bit of She's Independent in the center to make it look more beigey. And then take my lip liner again and sort of blend it onto the lip to give a touch of an ombre effect. There we go. I think that looks a little bit more like it. All right, the look is complete. There's one more product I want to demo, which is the All Over Glow Balm in She's on Vacation. And I'm going to use the Patrick Ta Kabuki. Swirl in. And add this to my shoulders and my chest. It does smell really good, I will give it that. The one thing I don't like about it is that I do find it to be a little bit sticky, like tacky to the touch, but if that doesn't bother you, this is a really beautiful product. And you can even use it on your face if you didn't already highlight. Or I suppose you could still use it if you did already use a highlighter and just want more glow. Let's throw one side of the hair back so you can still see the glow. Now I'm gonna run through every product and give you a quick yay or nay. The 6-pan artistry palettes, yay, 100%. Also, the brow pencil, 100% yay. The foundation and powder duo, nay. The Major Skin liquid foundation, nay. Unless you have dry and or near perfect skin. Those with oily skin, textured skin, I would pass. The bronzer and contour duo, nay, easy pass. The blush duos, yay, absolutely. The reformulated highlighters, I'm gonna have to go with nay. There's a lot better out there, especially for the price. Ooh, the Eye Illusion eyeshadow duos. Yay. The liquid lipsticks, the lip liners, and the glosses. Nay. They're not anything to write home about. And then the Glow Balm, I've used it before and I went into this video thinking I was gonna say nay, but now that I'm looking at it, it might be a yay. No, it is a yay. I don't mind the tackiness, honestly. Now, my sheets might not like the tackiness. That's a different story. Oh, let's talk about the brushes. All of these dual-ended brushes. I'm gonna say yay on all of them. The nose contour is a definite yay. I have to say I did get better coverage from the sculpting product using this brush. This is a good one to have for sculpting and bronzing. And then this one is the perfect tool for these cream and powder blushes. This side deposits the perfect amount of pigmentation to the cheeks, and then you flip it over to use this side in the cream. And as you saw, it just intensified the powder and gave it a little bit more of a natural, not sitting on top of the skin look. The few non-Patrick Ta products that I used will be listed and linked in the description box of this video, as well as links to all of the products I used today. If you are on your mobile phone, you will have to hit show more in order for that description box to drop down so that you can access the links, or you can shop through YouTube Shopping. Those links should be appearing on your screen. If you have any questions at all, please do not hesitate to leave them for me in the comments. I really do hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. And if you are not already subscribed to my channel, I hope that you will consider doing so. I do upload new videos at least twice per week. You can also find more content from me over on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. My username is the same on all platforms. It's Risa Does Makeup. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope to see you in my next video.